might be thinking, trying to
Oh,
justify that, as I was. You might be rationally wondering, well, look, there was a lot.
pause. I got to show you all the court docket. We got to go over this just real quick and then we'll get back to the video because, Candace, I told you I'm going to stay on top of you about this case. I'm thorough. So this is the court docket. All right. I'm gonna make sure you guys, every time I pull it up, I'm gonna show you all the case ID number, and there's a Nancy 25 C as in Candace -07-194 defamation. You guys see Emmanuel Macron versus Candace Owens. Because Candace, we don't have a reason to make up things in this reality here on earth. This is the court docket activity here. So let's see, let's go down. The last update was them requesting on October 24th. Here was the letter docketed October 28th to the judge requesting an extension of 3,000 additional words for the defendant's opening brief in support of their motion to dismiss for the plaintiff's first amended complaint. So the amended complaint lawsuit they filed in because Candace won't shut the hell up and take her own advice and stop lying. They had to add on her doubling down basically on the lie of this woman being born a man. And so they filed an amended complaint that gave the defendants the opportunity to file a response to it, to which she's utilizing that response in the form of a motion to dismiss. And so there is, based on the way it has to be filed, there's a brief that is supposed to be filed to support the actual motion. They want to add on 3,000 words to the brief. So this was on October 28th that this was docketed. Okay, so now we have, as of October 27th, a letter for judicial review by Michael Farnan. Farnan is the attorney for the Macrons. So, letter for judicial review, date docketed October 29th. That's today. Letter to the Honorable Sheldon K. Rennie from Michael J. Farnan regarding response to defendant's request to increase word limits. The response was accepted. So he filed a response to their request for an extension that was docketed today. All right. And then on October 28th, a letter for judicial review sent in from the defense. So, letter for judicial review, date docketed October 29th, docketed today. Letter from Chad Chandler, which is Candace's attorney. Letter to the Honorable Sheldon R. Rennie from Chandler, dated October 28th, withdrawing extension request for additional word limit in opening brief. So her attorneys have withdrawn the request for an extension to increase the brief by 3,000 words. So apparently the Macron's attorney is listening to my videos because they filed the letter or response basically to that request. And I'm sure they said, how do you wait 2 days before the actual motion with the opening brief, with the brief to support the motion is due? It's all due October 30th. Why did you wait 2 days beforehand or 6 days beforehand when it was actually filed? When it being filed might not be the same day as docketed, because in order for it to be docketed, it has to be filed and stamped by the clerk of the court. So you waited until October 24th to file a request with a proposed order for an extension when this was due on October 30th. Up here, you all agreed that you would have your response, your motion to dismiss, submitted to this court by October 30th. You wait till October 24th to place this request in with a proposed order for an extension. Who does that? That's so unprofessional. It's like Candace's attorneys need to get their shit together. First, they're trying to get it dismissed on the grounds of jurisdiction. And then when it was, I went over a case where her last lawsuit she filed against USA Today was filed in the Superior Court of the state of Delaware because her LLC, her Candace Owens LLC, is registered there. It's like now they're asking for additional time to come up with, to add on 3,000 words for their next motion to dismiss. It's like they're fishing here. They're throwing spaghetti at the wall. And you wait 6 days before it's due to even put in a request for an extension. Of course, if I were the Macron's attorney, I would tell the court to deny that request. Why would they wait this late, 6 days beforehand, to do this? They're stalling. And we don't have time to keep stalling with them. They're playing games. They're stalling. She doesn't want to go through this court battle because she doesn't understand how court works. She's too busy out here doubling down as usual. Produce zero evidence about the tax statement being in someone else's name. Where is a copy of the tax documents, Candace Owens? Where's a copy of the tax documents? She's going on, she picks and chooses articles she wants to use to try to prove her point. But yet she reads something from Wikipedia and all of a sudden it's a lie. This is how Candace conducts herself. She doesn't take any of this seriously. So they filed the response regarding the defendant's request to increase the word limit. Their response was accepted. And then next thing you know, they're withdrawing. Candace's attorney withdrew the request for the extension of the additional word limit. And then, of course, there is a notice here, docketed today, copy of rejection notice regarding improper filing issued on October 24th. So, improper filing. So that must have been their request for the extension that was improperly filed, because this was done October 24th. So Candace attorneys improperly filed. They improperly filed their extension request. I told y'all her attorneys are dumb. If I were the Macron's attorneys, I would literally ask the judge to sanction her attorneys. They should know better than this. Y'all see this here. Notice date docketed October 29th. This is the date that this notice has been docketed today. Copy of rejection notice, meaning that there's going to be an order or something showing that the request, it has to be this request from October 24th. That's what was sent here. Letter for judicial review, proposed order. Yeah, that was done on October 24th. So their request for an extension was rejected. So when it goes through that docketing process, when it's filed and stamped by the clerk of the court has to look at it to make sure that the filing is proper according to court rule. Does that make sense? So if there's a request, depending on what you're asking for, there's certain pleadings that you have to use in order to properly file that request to the court, whether it be through a motion or a petition. There's certain pleadings and certain formatting it has to be done in too. So their request issued on October 24th. That's the only thing here that was even filed on October 24th. That's Candace's attorney's request to extend for an extension to add on 3,000 additional words for their brief. That's the only thing here with that date. And that was rejected by the court due to improper filing. So that might explain why. That's more than, enough to show this is probably why he withdrew the request. They withdrew it because it was rejected due to improper filing. Do you all see how stupid this case is getting? Candace, you and your attorney suck. Y'all suck. You expect someone that's like pro se to do something improper with filing? Not two attorneys. That Candace has two attorneys. Neither one of them could figure out how to file this properly. Her attorneys are Catherine Mowry, Chad Chandler, Blake Rohrbacher, Robersher. These are three attorneys. Attorney. Look at this. Attorney. And they couldn't file their request for an extension properly. It was rejected. It's improper. You can't make this up. What you get, Candace? You clown. See, stop messing with people, Candace. Stop messing with people. You're gonna lose this lawsuit. You can't even file this stuff properly. Improper filing. Get out of here. So, of course, that's why her attorney withdrew the request for extension. They waited to the last minute. They wait 6 days before it's due. Turn that stuff in tomorrow. Why do you need an extension to add on 3,000 words? Just don't add 3,000 words. Get out of here. Kick rocks. They're stalling with this case. I'm telling you all. They're trying to do whatever they can to stall because they know the moment Brigitte Macron shows up with scientific evidence, Candace is done for. Because I highly doubt that this will be dismissed because of lack of jurisdiction. Candace has her LLC registered in the state of Delaware. Bottom line. And it's been proven already. That's not something that people have to make up. It's in another court filing. They also have the updated information to show her registration is still valid in the state of Delaware. So why lie about that? Why even make that argument? It's such a dumb argument. It's so stupid. Then they talking about, the Macrons are doing libel tourism. Man, please. Y'all, oh my God, you can't make this stuff up. All right, that was the case status. So they're going to have to turn it in tomorrow. You're absolutely right. They're going to have to turn that in tomorrow. They're trying to make the court into a circus show because they know they're going to lose. They know they're going to lose. Why is she trying to get it dismissed? Me too. No, I would love to know why she's trying to dismiss the lawsuit. She needs to get off Charlie and let his family and friends grieve. Exactly. She's too busy trying to obsess over Charlie Kirk. She doesn't care about this lawsuit. She doesn't care. Her attorneys don't care either. You filed this extension on October 24th, and it was improperly filed. And there are three attorneys. There are three of you that went to law school. None of them seem to be first year, attorneys here. It's not the first year practicing law. And you all waited 6 days before your response was due. And you want the petitioner to just keep waiting for you to do something? No. It was improperly filed. It was rejected. So that left them with no choice but to withdraw the extension request. They had already agreed. Let me see, go back up here. They had already agreed in an order here. Y'all see this order? Back on October 7th. Here's the order date docketed October 8th. Signed by Judge Rennie. So ordered. Stipulation and proposed order governing deadline to respond to the amended complaint October 30th. This was in the order for them to have their response to the amended complaint submitted to the court by October 30th. That is tomorrow. And these thunkheads wait all the way to October 24th. From October 8th to October 24th is 16 days. 16 calendar days. They waited 16 calendar days to try to file a request for an extension. And it turns out it was improperly filed. Stop playing with the courts. Courts do not bend to your will, girl. Your attorney should know better. This is absolute buffoonery. Stop playing around with it. Proceed with the case. You can't help if I were Macron's attorney, I would say no. Your Honor, you're going to have to reject this. We're not going to keep waiting for them. They're playing this back and forth game. They want to say the court doesn't have jurisdiction. Then they want to add on 3,000 words. Why? To say the same thing. This court has no jurisdiction. You don't need to have an extension to say the same thing you said before. If you're saying to the court, this court lacks jurisdiction, you don't need, even with an amended complaint, your response is still the same. This court lacks jurisdiction. Why do you need 3,000 more words to say the same thing? It makes no sense. It doesn't matter what they say in it. If you're telling the court you lack jurisdiction in the first place, don't need to add anything extra to that. But that's so great. This is how I know, you all, that Candace Owens knows that she's done for. That's why she keeps talking about, oh, they're trying to bankrupt me. I'm so sick of them. How about you learn how to shut up, Candace? And then you wouldn't have to go through this. We have anti-defamation laws for a reason, girl. You're playing around with the courts and you're wasting the court's time. They're going to win.